Yeah, my client is on the Soviet team. You can't change it in the display options. Oops, let me put my webcam underneath your syringe. There you go, best of 13. Niek finally loading in. Sorry for the delay, chaps. It's a bit of technical difficulties. But we're here and we're live. ZAIN top left, Allied. Niek top right, Soviets. Bottom left is Ed and bottom left is Seeauul. So it is. He left is right on Heck. There are 3 teams. There's 3 teams, right? Normal CNC net, Allied, and Soviet. I don't think there's a Yuri team. The Yuri team is the normal CNC net team. Should be. I don't know. I don't check. But left is right, Ed, Niek on the right side. And Seeauul and ZAIN. ZAIN going Allied top left. Seeauul bottom left. And Niek is on the bottom. Okay, this definitely is a rush for sure. So Niek is gonna go 0, I think. Aggressive war factory placement here, and he's gonna rush up on ZAIN. ZAIN sees it. Oh, I thought that purple was for that. That purple was scouts. Same with Ed as well. So Ed and Niek both going aggressive here. That's a beacon from ZAIN. See how that goes. There's the first. There's the other one from Niek. Niek unfortunately not pressing up. Still starting in base. Go Niek, go! So they're gonna double up on ZAIN here. Ed choosing to ignore Seeauul, go to his top left. Seeauul seeing this, he needs to cancel up his miner that he's making right now. And pressure up on Ed. Try and pull him back away from ZAIN, because ZAIN is gonna get doubled right now. 3 runners on the left, 2 on the left, 3 on the right. And Seeauul chooses to build a power plant and sentry gun down in his base. Flag cannon is out to do the Rockies after an early AFC. Unfortunately, the lack of tank control from Ed gets wiped out, and ZAIN should be able to hold this 2v1. Ed now putting all the pressure onto Seeauul. The Niek anti-scout, I believe he did. This sentry gun right here took that out, but unfortunately it was still in range of the war factory. Niek still putting a lot of pressure up on Ed. Ed now moving towards the middle after getting his 3rd miner up. He's still pushing up on top left there. Seeauul still dilly dying around. Not enough rhinos. He's still making maybe 1 too many miners here. I'm just thinking that maybe there's a lack of awareness here from Seeauul, seeing that his opponent, both of his opponents actually went 0. So he is gonna have to pump it up a little bit. And despite going many miners, he is a couple rhinos behind. Seeauul and ZAIN still going at it. ZAIN now setting up defensively with that MCV cell, having that AFC and the war factory already. And that ref in a great position. It's all depending on Seeauul right now. He's the one. ZAIN can't move. And he can't leave his base, because you don't want to leave your base open to a Soviet player. ZAIN can support one of the Rocketeers around the bottom. Seeauul though down bottom left. The red player is lacking behind. So Seeauul needs to make some moves there. ZAIN can't hold on for that longer. He tries to use the clip to his advantage there, but the fodder is there as well. If he can snipe 1 or 2 tanks out the way, that'll be amazing. He does out tank Ed here. The rogue engineer just walking all the way down from top left. ZAIN still holding on. Seeauul trying to make a move. He does out tank Ed here, but he's not using them to his advantage. Now ZAIN is on the offensive here. The GI is walking with them. Niek, the lack of tank control and the lack of sentry guns not helping him. In any way, shape or form, Niek is top right. Yes, ZAIN saying he's won. against Niek. Niek maybe just had a moment of a relapse there. And ZAIN managing to overwhelm him with the walk of the GIs. Now Seeauul just needs to hold on and wait for ZAIN to come to his aid, because ZAIN and Seeauul can 2v1 Ed now. And I don't think Seeauul wants to take Ed head on, simply because he's a lower seeded player. Now ZAIN is in the back door. Seeauul can now engage and do some damage here, and he is. The corny father is lacking behind slightly. Seeauul definitely can win that fight. Ed trying to run away with his MCV to top left to save that base trade. ZAIN splitting up his tanks now. What a play from ZAIN there, walking with his GIs forward with the Grizzlies, and Niek, the lack of sentry guns, the lack of any sort of defense at all, definitely lost him the game there. Ed still holding on, however. Seeauul just lacking a bit of tank control there and the Rhino numbers. He is spilling it up to take down bottom left, bottom right. I don't think that's needed at all. Should probably just pressure up on top left where Ed is. But he's choosing to go bottom right. But the game has been won. That is a huge match. And a huge play by ZAIN. I think the first match out of the way. Let's go with the... Yeah, that's fine. Alright, let's go. Zed, really think the only kids here is you. Even though we're the same age, you're still a kid. I think. Oh boy. Yeah, left is right, Poltergeist. Poltergeist? Polterduck. Poltergoose. Polterquack. Pretty quack. Poltergeist left is right. This is the pre-cal version, unfortunately. There you go. So Ed and Niek on the left side, ZAIN and Seeauul. Seeauul is bottom right, yellow. ZAIN is top right, is orange. Ed top left, blue. And Niek bottom left has teal. So ZAIN immediately telling Seeauul to make a drone and drone the miner if possible. Can't say Portuguese. It's called making content, ZAIN. ZAIN Zed. You won't know what it is. There you go. That's the target on the miner. So the thing I like about Poltergeist is it's very symmetrical map. Left is right works very well. I don't think corners will work very well just simply because of the distance. Excuse me. But there are the drones coming in. Double drone here from Niek. And just that one singular drone. Oh, good control there from ZAIN, getting one miner out the way. Second drone does not die, however. We've seen double drones can be very deadly here. And if let's say both of your opponents go double drone, that could be really effective as well. Get both miners drone on both ends. Just like Niek here, getting both of his miner drones. He does save both. But looks like the tactic here is to double up on Seeauul. Fortunately, Niek is slightly behind here to double up. Still choosing to defend with drones. I think he knows that he's out tanked here. He can't really afford to move forward and build the rhinos. He will get one miner out. That miner is half full. And the second miner as well. The second miner is way full. Both miners go down. That is huge from Niek there. A lot of damage done. 2 miners down on gems. Not much you can say about that. Seeauul now left with 2 miners on the field. Meanwhile, Ed has 3. Niek has 3 as well. The MCV cell. And this is looking pretty grim for Seeauul. Ed, I think, want to get the refinery up and then he can sell and be a little bit more aggressive here.
Our ally is is under attack.
ZAIN holding up with that aggression against Ed. How's this gonna go about? Still waiting here. Ed, I think he can't really pierce through ZAIN right now. Niek kind of let... Is he walking mid? Yeah, I just got eaten. I think Niek just kind of lets Seeauul rebuild his. Setting in his fodder in first, and then going for that miner. One miner goes down. Seeauul decides to take that fight. Definitely the wrong thing to do there. Losing 2 miners in the process. And he's out tanked as well. Sentry gun is there to help. Seeauul is trying to hide behind those. Again, another fight here. Niek taking it. Going for the last miner. Second to last miner actually. There's 2 more on the other side. Niek overcommitting there to those miners. I think that's a fair trade there. Getting 3 miners down. And losing about 5 rhinos. Compared to when Seeauul had about 4 as well. There's a sell out of ZAIN. Seeauul now constantly hitting broke. I think he needs to sell as well. And now getting the Desos out. Is this even effective? I'm pretty sure Service Depot takes money to repair a unit too. So not a good idea there from Seeauul. Repairing a Service Depot when you have no money. He did sell there. And now going on the aggressive Desos are everywhere. Niek coming back in. It is playing like a 1v1 on each end right now. Not much lateral movement except for Ed we saw on that first engagement trying to double up on Seeauul. The fodder is coming out there. Niek having that better eco. Seeauul, his eco is doing worse. There seems to be a huge death layer that just got deployed there. Putting a lot of Ed's tanks down to low health. And ZAIN just winning that slight engagement there. He's not repairing his tanks. He does have the eco for it. And Seeauul holds on against Niek. That is something I thought I wouldn't say. So both players just holding on a little bit. ZAIN telling Seeauul to hold. Ed and Niek was so far ahead, but ZAIN is doing an amazing job. Actually, both ZAIN and Seeauul doing an amazing job holding up here, especially Seeauul as the lowest seated player here. He brings his fodder forward, and Niek's fodder is lacking behind. And the targeting there is actually pretty good for Seeauul, but Niek out tanking. And it looks like Seeauul won't be able to hold for that long. The drone gets into its final rhino. And both of his production buildings go down. No hold left. There should be a beacon now from Seeauul telling ZAIN that I've lost. Seeauul now going laterally. Tried to put the pressure on Niek, but a little bit too late now. Pressure is up. I'm pretty sure Ed can push this. Not sure why he's not. Excuse me. Oof. ZAIN now 3 rhinos on the bottom. Seeauul has quit out. Would you use that miner as fodder actually instead of quitting out? ZAIN now going on the aggressive there. He met with 2 Desos. The 3 tank split down the bottom left side has been defeated. 3 of Niek's rhinos now to the bottom side. Comes out with the elite from the veteran. And this is pretty much a game 1 onto the left side. Almost through it. And then Niek didn't throw it. They were in an advantageous position, but they sort of lost a little bit there. Almost lost the grounds. But Niek finally grabbed the bulls by the horns and went all in onto Seeauul, taking him out. And ZAIN and Seeauul, despite that huge, amazing effort to hold up, especially Seeauul, did really well there. Didn't manage to hold up for long enough. Giving Ed and Niek the upper hand. But nonetheless, he still managed to get the win after Niek pulled ahead. Cabins of Siberia. Ed and Niek along the top. And ZAIN and Seeauul along the bottom. It's a pretty standard top versus bottom game here. So Niek is gonna be facing off against Seal once again, which he should be able to hold, which he showed us that he actually has the ability to hold. And Niek typing in all chat saying that he's rushing. A bit of a yikes there. I need to clear my sinuses. It's annoying. Yeah, Niek saying an object that he's rushing might be a double bluff, who knows? If it is a double bluff, then it's gonna be pretty funny. But in this match, we're gonna see how ZAIN's allied actually plays up against Ed's Soviet. Ed, I think, gonna be aggressive here if Niek is not. If Niek is not double bluffing, then Ed will definitely have to follow up, and it looks like he is following up here. Rhinos coming out of both ends. Beacons out already for the drone. Let's see, we're gonna get one minor drone. Second one in as well. ZAIN immediately saying that they're rushing. It looks like Seal will definitely lose a minor here, or two, if he's not careful. Both of them doubling up there. That first minor is gonna go down. Second one going down to that Rhino. This is an amazing double play here from Ed, going all the way from top left down to bottom right, taking care of Seal's minor. ZAIN's minor, some reason, going to his bottom right. ZAIN a little bit late to help there. Seal taken off guard from them, going zero. Aggressive as they always is. Now they're going down to bottom left. After taking care of their only minus now for Seal, they're gonna double up on ZAIN. And ZAIN in a 2v1 situation. Can he hold up here? He does have the Rocketeer. But the Grizzly, the production is not there. He's constantly hitting broke here. He is broke. The miners need to be chronoed up if they want to be safe. More reinforcements coming in. Seal now coming in to help as well. One miner does go down for ZAIN. This is huge. Power drop down in top left from ZAIN. The GIs gonna be eaten by the dogs probably. Yeah, they are. And Seal, even though coming around to help, he does rebuild one miner, but it is looking pretty grim for ZAIN and Seal right now, getting hit on that zero. I'm thinking if they can hold on to this, but ZAIN forces the MCB cell to get some money. That miner is on a quarter of a health left. That flag track is there. Looks like they got caught off in the classic, going zero and rushing, doubling up, down on bottom right, then switching the target down to bottom left. Knowing that bottom right is out of the game and they can't realistically rebuild that quickly. And the anti-scout working really well there for Ed and Niek. ZAIN quits out, calls GG, and that is it for Seal as well. That is a huge win for Ed and Niek. Perfectly executing the plan with no hiccups at all. 2-1 in the first two. 7 here. Best of 13. Right, let's go. I mean, 2 new motherfuckers. Well. Okay, South Pacific left via right. Okay, this is interesting. I think we saw in their previous match between Max and Gogoing with ZAIN and Seal, and this time Seal is going allied once again, and I bashed him actually. I bashed him saying that he's not the best allied player out there and he rarely plays allied. But he actually kind of turned it around and ZAIN actually carried him and won the engagements and win towards everything else. So we'll see if the same does happen here. Obviously going allied, the main thing you want to do is grab that power drop. Having a double para will be really beneficial, especially on this map. Drop one in middle. drop one on the cliff. That'll be a really good thing to do. So if prediction serves me right, Seeauul will go for an AFC first. How comes the War Factory? Okay, I am wrong. ZAIN goes for the War Factory. Seeauul, sorry, goes for the War Factory first. And then I think the AFC might be up that by that paradrap. ZAIN going 0, drones are getting in left and right. And the next one also gets in, ZAIN. Ed and Niek definitely did their homework here, seeing that ZAIN was the one carrying that previous match. Double drone goes on both of ZAIN's rhinos. So now he's severely out-tanked. Ed can now put under pressure, and he is going to take mid as well. Huge mid control here from Ed. This is why I think this map was really great, in the sense that right side does get the mid control really quickly, but the left side can defend really well with that cliff with paradrops. But looks like the double is coming up here down on bottom left. Seeauul now getting the Rocketeers in to help, but Ed just waltzing through. Seeauul does cut off the reinforcements though from Ed, and now coming in to help. The damage is done. He does sell his War Factory before it gets destroyed. Paradrops now back in ZAIN's Ed's base, sorry, from Seeauul. Doesn't take care of that sentry gun. Hit a double para going along the top here. Niek going quick tech. Ed staying on tier 1 with that refinery in the middle. That paradrop not getting out that radar. And ZAIN obviously seeing that tech. He's gonna take care of Navy. You see this one, that another paradrop goes on top left from Niek onto Seeauul. Seeauul does not spot it. That AFC should have gone down by now. Ed again pushing towards middle. ZAIN is so far behind here in Rhino numbers, and Seeauul, he's pulling back everything. Nope. It's getting doubled now on the bottom. Seeauul is very late to react there. But the Deathsouls from ZAIN are there to help push Ed and Niek back. Another project goes on top right. Does take care of that lab. And then now that this paradrop could have taken out the AFC, the power and the racks by now. Ed again making a push down towards bottom left. Seeauul comes in with Rocketeers, and Niek is now coming behind of that. Niek now trying to push in, but Ed is towards the middle. Rocketeers from ZAIN, from Seeauul, a little bit sleeping there. Yeah, one miner almost gets taken out, but the next MCV gets taken out. Niek now pushing in one by one. He is gonna make it even with that paradrop up in the middle there. ZAIN finally taking care of Ed. Never mind that Rhino's on 1 health. ZAIN holds on there, and Seeauul manages to hold on as well with the Rocketeers to help. Another beacon comes up. ZAIN telling Seeauul to go towards orange because he is weak. No flak inbound. Ed does have the flak cannon ready. There is a hidden flak cannon behind there, so the rockets are immediately counted. Seeauul has to watch that. All ZAIN has to do now is hold on and keep the pressure up on Ed so he doesn't have a chance to help his teammate here. Double paradrop goes along top right. That'll help immensely with the fodder.
Beacon detected.
Now the beacon coming in towards the middle. 10% is Rockies there to help. Flak cannon is still there. Seeauul finally spotting it. It's like Ed and ZAIN are still having an everlasting match here. That paradrop has been seeing that throughout the entire game. Bearing in mind that ZAIN does not have an MCV. And Ed and Niek are on the ropes here. ZAIN and Seeauul both in their base. A double up on Niek here. Ed pulling back desperately to defend. Yeah, flak cannon still lives. Niek now going in for Ed. Niek going in for Seeauul, sorry, takes him out. Ed now countering back on ZAIN.
Our ally is under attack.
Not enough units, and the Pedro finally gets seen. They're gonna target a war factory from Seeauul. Forces that cell. And Ed now following up, splitting half of his units to his top left. Seeing that there's only Rocketeers there, opting their war factory. And the last war factory from Seeauul goes down. Ed and Niek now pushing back towards the bottom left side, where the last war factory on the left team sits.
Our ally is under attack.
In a huge match here. Finally, ZAIN goes down, and GG's being spread all around. That was really back and forth there.
Our ally is under attack.
Yeah, with the Rockies left, that's the only support he has. War factory does get rebuilt, but in a 2v1 situation where both of your players still has their MCVs, it's unlikely, and ZAIN quits out in a very, very tough match. Of course my stream deck dies. And Ed and Niek pulling it back 3-1 in a very, very long match. That was really back and forth. Should be random up. Yep. Yeah, I got advised to not include that map in the map pool, but I chose to leave it in because it is very unpredictable. And left side is shit, but the thing is ZAIN and Seeauul actually picked top left, so they did pick that left side. Anyway, we're back on Dorado. It's like Niek and Seeauul left is right. Hey, yo, what's up, Steph? How you doing, man? Yeah, left is right on Dorado. Looks like gonna be Seeauul going up against Ed and Niek going up against Seeauul. That is gonna be a mismatchup, I think. I think ZAIN can definitely take Niek. Grab gems. Cute. But the problem here is for Steve. Steve? He's not even in this game. Get out of here, Steve. It's for Seeauul to see whether he can hold up against Ed here. Am I the only one surprised by this build by Ed here? I didn't know you could build off your power plant there and then stick out enough to see over here. What?
Beacon detected.
That is interesting. Anyways, double drone now out. I think both players might double up here. Early AFC after that first war factory. Yeah, they are rushing here. Ed and Niek. 2 rhinos already on the field. Niek again, just a little bit behind here. Not being proactive with his rhinos there, pressing up on ZAIN. Timing is very important in TB2s. So if you're not moving when your allies moving, you might just slow down a little bit there. That rogue miner, after a very aggressive build from ZAIN, there going from Seeauul, sorry, going down to that drone, and Seeaul's just gonna let it die. Again, the war factory on the lower level means that it'll take a lot of time for it to go around the cliff here. And Niek and ZAIN still going at it. They're not really engaging much, but Ed is besting Seeauul at the moment. Which is a little bit hard to see there. Seeauul maybe making a mistake in his build. Forced to sell his MCV now to get some funds. I think Niek might be just holding off or pressing up on ZAIN. ZAIN now sending his rhinos to his bottom right to help Seeauul a little bit here, pull back, but I think it's a little bit too late now. Seeauul is already dead, but that doesn't mean that ZAIN can't do some damage here. He chooses to go in down bottom right with all of his grizzlies, leaving his base really exposed here. Niek can just pull off here, get that grizzly out of the way. Seeauul now completely out the game. Can't really do much here. Zain's aggressors are gonna get taken out. He's not really microing them. He's too busy defending in his own base. Sells his MCV for a last bit of money.
Our ally is under attack.
But similar to the previous game where they got bested with a rush, it seems like the same is happening here. Seeauul just with a really aggressive build down to his bottom, that middle ground. And Ed absolutely knew how to abuse that in every way, shape or form. Yeah, that's a really good play out of Ed, and really smart play by Ed actually. He saw that the build was weird from Seeauul. He went down with the lower wall factory. So once he's pressured out down that lower level, he immediately went the one further up. And then obviously his Rhino is gonna get there fast enough. So that is eventually the end of it. 4-1. The end of that match. Steve with a question mark. No, Steve, I don't know why I called Seeauul Steve there. Right, divide and conk. ZAIN, Seeauul along the top, Ed and Niek down the bottom. Niek gonna go up against Seeauul. That's a better matchup. Are you dizzy yet? Are you dizzy yet? Yeah, on that previous map, I think where's the music from? It's Rules on Engagement by Jennifer. I think Crescent pointed out that it's from Escape from Tarkov. It's one of it's one of the music from Escape from Tarkov. That's what I've been told. And my playlist, if you type in exclamation mark playlist, it will show up on Spotify. There's a Spotify link for my playlist. Should be public. Yeah, that previous match, Ed just noticing Seeaul's mistake there and abusing it to all hell. Seeing that his build was slightly a bit weak, and he knew how to abuse that, and Seeauul just not expecting that rush. So again, it comes down to the map awareness, right, from Seeauul. Seeing what your opponent is doing, especially in a 2v2 situation. Are they going 0? Are they going 1? Are they going 2? Did your ally get drawn? There's a lot to think about. But I think most importantly is to see whether your opponent is rushing or whether they're playing for the minus. In the case of Ed and Niek, very rarely they have played for minus, and they have went rushing. They went rushes all the time, went 0 and rushed almost every single game here, which is, I think, is their strong point. Both Ed and Niek, very good players in 2v2s. They do like to rush a lot and catch their opponent off guard, but once bitten, twice shy. After getting rushed once, Seeauul and ZAIN both should have known by now that they are very strong right at the start, though. So they will have to hold on for mid-game. Minimum donation is 5. Oh, sorry, did I have a minimum cap? I thought I removed that, but I guess I didn't. ZAIN and Ed going at it there. But the better tank control and the superior tank numbers there from Ed just winning him that fight. ZAIN tried to hype and eccentric gun's not working. Seeauul now getting a lot of rhinos on the way. Ed saying he's won. He has definitely won there. No more rhinos on the field for ZAIN. And Niek looks like he's gonna be winning his fight as well. He just backed himself at the wrong time there. MCV goes down for ZAIN. He's out of the game for sure. And Niek, that lack of tank control, what was that? He forces you to sell anyway, but now in comes Ed from the left side. Down to a 2v1 situation here. ZAIN, nothing else to do. Sending his miners down to his bottom left, hopefully to pull back Ed, but The onslaught of Ed and onslaughts of Ed and Niek there, both selling their MCVs.
Player defeated.
Can't keep up the production and push up along Seal here in the double. ZAIN quits, calls GG, and the last Rhino from Seal goes down. There should be 5-1 now out of Ed and Niek. Huge plays there with the elite just to
Player
tap it off with the cherry on top. Again, man, it's just down. That match was down to the individual fights for sure. See here, Desert Island, ZAIN bottom right, Niek top right, Ed top left, and Seal bottom left. So top is bottom. And again, and it's in a situation where Niek is gonna play against ZAIN. And Ed is gonna play against Seal. I hate Allied and Desert Island too flat. Why you flat shaming people, dude? Just because something is flat doesn't mean it's useless. Ignore what I just said, I didn't say anything. Shit, lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think Ed and Niek are gonna have the advantage there because they're ZAIN against Niek, I think might be even, or ZAIN might have the upper hand. Ed against Seal, Ed will have that any day of the week. I mean, look at this move from Ed here going towards, I think, second level. I don't think he's going mid. Never mind, he is going mid. That is aggressive from Ed. This will do one of two things. It will give them map control, sort of cut off any lateral movements. And it will give them a lot of eco here because Niek can build off his ally here. Seals might be getting droned there. And again, Niek going 0, Ed going 0 as well, but Rocketeers are here. There is no flag from Ed. The flag track finally comes out. Doesn't get counted. Now ZAIN has to deal with this 2 Rhino push with War Factory only coming up about now. Should be able to deal with that. Seal. ZAIN chronos away both of his miners to his ally's base. Obviously, the advantage of having a allied miner, you can chrono to your allies base. This will save them a little bit. Niek kind of pushing in without any flag there, knowing that his opponent went air. Slightly questionable. And ZAIN, now that the miners are safe, can pull back his miners. His base is safe, sorry, can pull back his miners back to his own base. Yeah, Niek is a little bit lazy to make some flag there going up against an ally player. ZAIN and Seal can definitely double up on Ed here. I think they are gonna get their miner off the gems. Rockies are there. Niek coming in to help. He realistically should be pushing down the bottom right. The double here, Ed and ZAIN. But looks like Niek coming in and Ed manages to help them push off the advancement here.
Our ally is under attack.
The Rockies coming in towards the middle, gets the refinery out of the way. And now ZAIN can redirect his intention back to top right, walking with his GIs. That flag is still there, so he has to be careful. The Rhinos though getting hit by the GIs. Meanwhile, Niek around the back. There should be a ping here from Seal. He's not really aware that his opponent is going all the way around, albeit it is Niek with his Rhinos from middle. Looks like it will be some sort of a base trade. Niek does get met with a couple of Grizzlies, and Seal sells his MCV. Ed does the same here. What is the damage onto Niek? It is not that much. Only got his MCV out of the way. But ZAIN is getting hit so far here, so much by Niek. Down in bottom right, he does hold on with the help of the GS in the pillbox. Now he only has a War Factory left. And the fight between Ed and Seal. Ed again winning his fights as always. ZAIN picking that fight. He's not gonna win that. And realistically, you can't do anything there, having out tanked. Ed saying he's won. Last War Factory goes down for Seal. And ZAIN trying to go towards middle there, tried to pull Ed back, but a little bit too late. Because Seeauul has been lost.
Our ally is under attack.
And he's now pulling back to defend. I actually didn't catch it, but that was Ed's flag there in Niek's base. Not even Niek's own flag.
Our ally is under attack.
ZAIN does take down the last war factory here. But Ed and Niek are already in his base. He can't do anything about it. There are no units anywhere else. That is a G621 for Ed and Niek. Dominating, absolutely dominating this match here. But ZAIN and Seeauul definitely putting up a fight. They did have an attempt there in middle. But Niek was quick to react towards middle and help out his teammate there. Colors are purple and orange. Purple and orange corners in a game of DFO. 1 match point. So winner of this series will be the first one to progress into the finals of the upper bracket. Yeah, Ed and Niek definitely have the right strat here. Doubling up on one of them, it will be great. I think if ZAIN and Seeauul try to double up on Ed and Niek, either one of them, I think the reason is because Ed and Niek are so experienced players. Both of them are really good and experienced. They do have the knowledge and the know-how to sort of react to when your opponent is getting doubled. Obviously, when you see your opponent is getting doubled, the first thing you do is you send whatever, maybe 1 or 2 rhinos straight to one of your opponent's base to sort of pull them back and give them time to breathe. So the units in your opponent's base will either pull back, or if they choose to stay on, you can do some damage back in your with your rhinos, wherever. So obviously the plan here is to double up on ZAIN. Niek though being countered with that drone, he does save it. Ed sending a rhino straight to the top, straight towards top right. Onto that miner.
Beacon detected.
See, the reason is that like 6 matches in, you would expect Niek and Ed to rush. So I'm expecting Seeauul here to sort of adapt a little bit, send 2 rhinos immediately up towards top or bottom right, while ZAIN tries to hold on here to put them back. And what does Seeauul do? He's going towards top right to save his teammate. That is not the right play here. You need to go into your opponent's base to draw them back. Reason being, if you're pushing in towards your teammate's base to bump up the rhino numbers, the one thing you're gonna do is you're gonna risk yourself losing that fight. Because instead of a 2v1, you get a 2v2. If you go to your opponent's base, you're gonna pull them back, essentially leaving it to 1v1, and your opponent gonna need some time to go from your ally's base to back to their own base, and then that's gonna give you some time to do a lot of damage and pull your opponent off of your allies. So that's another good thing there. But Seeauul very late to react there. He's gonna go towards bottom right against Niek. ZAIN moves towards top left towards Ed's miners, and Ed moves towards bottom left now to give Niek some breathing room. Seeauul does make some drones to counter it. That is one way to counter when your ally is getting hit and your opponent doubles back on you. That's right, Seeauul now is actually winning his fight against Niek there, forcing you to sell his war factory. Rhinos coming up from the war factory will get destroyed almost instantly. ZAIN sells his war MCV and is holding on now with drones. Niek is now completely out the fight. No war factories left. Ed is pulling back here towards bottom left. He gets me with a lot of drones. This is some very good play from Seeauul there. Even though he was really late to react, he does take out Niek. And those drones there doing well in holding Ed off instead of pushing into his base. That is some very good play there. Unfortunately, he did not get rid of the barracks, so there is a small threat of a colony rush coming into a ZAIN. But that should be easily spotted and counted. And now sending 4 rhinos towards the right hand side, not sending all of them, knowing that ZAIN does have a couple of drones. Unfortunately, I would say, is that enough? Yeah, that is enough to save him. Seeauul needs to be doing a lot of work. It's not building another ref for a miner. It's building a surface depot instead. A miner wouldn't hurt here. But he needs to be wary now. Opponent is moving in. The colonies from Niek though coming in about now. Does take out the power, or the refinery actually. And Ed now coming through. Where is Seeaul's tanks? They are dead. And even though they did put up a really good fight there, and eventually winning against Seeauul. GG is being thrown all around. Looks like the barracks there from Niek actually played really well. And the match ends 7-1. Excuse me. To Ed and Niek.